So hello and welcome back to the 7th episode. We're now 1 week into our Football Manager Let's Play with Swindon, and in the game I don't think we're even 7 days in yet. Anyway, I've got a few things that I have to do today. As you can see with our squad, we have picked up a couple of injuries to Simon Ferry and Jonathan Smith. Jonathan Smith has fractured his wrist, so he is expected to be out for, and I think it does tell me here, except it doesn't because there's not enough space. I suppose I could go to the injury table, which is up here under the table. So he's out for 8 weeks to 2 months, which is a reasonably long injury, not the worst I've ever had. Simon Ferry has stubbed his toe, so that is quite a long time for someone to be off if they stub their toe. But I don't know, maybe it's a special sports toe stubbing, I don't know. Anyway, so as you can see here, we've picked up a couple of injuries in the game. Normally if I pick up more than one injury in a match, I tend to reduce the training intensity, so I'm going to go there and I'm going to bring down the pre-season intensity a little bit, because as you can see there, it's heavy. If I'm looking for squad morale as well, I want them to be happy, I don't want them to be too tired. I also wanted to do a shout out for Rowan and Lord for subscribing to my channel. It really helps out, you know, especially for Rowan posting his thing on Facebook. I don't know if anyone's clicked on it at all, but you know, I could do with some Cambridgeshire subscribers, so that could be good. So right now what I want to do is talk to my new scout. So, and for Lord, I am quite new to this game, you know, I don't know the ins and outs entirely. It is a learning experience, but that's what I'm hoping to sort of, you know, present in my videos, that I'm not the greatest player in this game, but I am getting there, and it's, you know, it's all about the journey. So right there, what I want to do is I want to scout, and I can do that through scouting. There we go, sorted. Okay, he is, yeah, so he's going to be looking through Benin. I also want to search for, in England, to get some younger players to see if we can sign any up and coming stars that perhaps are out of contract and aren't going to ask for too much. So I suppose 20 is reasonable. If we look for contract status, I don't know if they have that on that. So yeah, if we just do a reasonable wage, say a max of 1k every week, and obviously he's going through England, so yeah, we're fine with that. I've also, obviously, wanting to reduce the wage packet that I'm currently paying at the moment. I do want to ship a few players off. That is incredibly difficult at the start of a season on Football Manager. For example, Matteo Lanzano, who's gone from Swindon in real life now, his stats there, you know, look fairly decent, but as a goalkeeper I don't really rate him, and I don't really want him with my squad. So if I could release him on a free, I will have to pay 50 grand in compensation. So there you go, that's a bit ridiculous. I could wait until the end of the season and then try and do a mutual termination or something like that. Right now what I'm going to do is interact with him, have a private chat, see what he wants, see if he's willing to go. So as you can see there, I want to terminate his contract. I think you should agree to terminate your contract. You're not getting any football here, and that would allow us to save money and find you a regular team to play elsewhere. See, this is the frustrating thing. The player wants to stay at the club, even though there's two other goalkeepers, and he knows I'm never going to play him. I think you should consider what I've said. It would be best for you if you accepted my offer. I'll stand by what I've said. I'll get going then, if that's everything. See you at training. There we go, we've just reduced some squad morale right there, because Lanzano doesn't want to go. He's happy sitting on his contract and not playing football, so we're kind of sorted there. What we need to do also is get this players that were injured out of the squad right now, so we will swap some players around right now. We'll just do the positions. Alan McCormack provides a really good, solid defensive role in both the centre midfield and in the centre back position. I could place him with Lee Cox being in Simon Ferry's position because Lee Cox can do a job attacking as well, but I do want to kind of blend him into that position that he's supposed to be playing now. He enjoys being a ball winner. I think he does anyway. View reports. So as you can see there, yeah, his favourite position is ball winning midfielder. His stats definitely are good for that. Anyway, as you can see on the right there, I've got Gabilondo, and to properly answer Lord's question, as you can see, he's a Spanish option there. I've done a few plays with Swindon before, and although his stats look decent, he doesn't do a brilliant job at fitting into the team, and he's not too effective in his position. So my logic behind bringing Corey Gregory in initially was that just if one of my right midfielders got injured, I could bring him in, and then to add the option to buy, I really just had spare cash. I know I could have spent it somewhere else, but I do want to have a solid right midfielder that I can take with me into the next season, because I feel I'm going to get promoted. And I don't really want to keep Lander Gabilondo with me around too much, as he's a foreign player. I like to build English squads with, you know, the best chemistry available to me. So right there, I think I am going to put Gregory out on the wing. As it says there, midfield, right centre, so he could probably offer us something in the middle as well. And 18, his stats are definitely going to develop from there, so if we were to buy him at that, I'd say he'd do a decent job for us for a few seasons. What I'm going to do for the centre midfield here then, just going to check the time of the video, 6 minutes 43. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick Ballatoni in as well. Ballatoni does a job as a stopper. Risa is, if you're going to play him in a position, it would either be sitting in between the defence and the midfield, or as a centre-back. If you try and play him in centre midfield, he's not too effective. So I don't actually have too many centre midfield options, seeing as I've just lost 2 of them. One obviously out, not for too long. So I'll put McCormack there. He's not going to offer us too much, but obviously the teams that we're facing aren't going to be too difficult. Also, to answer Lord's question about bringing Gregory in, we do obviously have Luke Rooney, who is the same position, slightly better mental stats, you know, similar technical attributes, and obviously valued far higher. The problem with Rooney is that he, and if you look at his personality, very ambitious. He's a bit of a, I don't know how you describe it, a live wire. You know, he could play one way, or he could play the completely opposite way. I do want to play around with him a bit. I mean, his contract isn't ridiculous, and his value, if I can keep playing him this season, is good. But obviously, if he gets injured, or if Gabilondo doesn't fit in, or whatever, then Gregory can fit into that position. And obviously, actually, no. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to do something crazy. Is I'm going to play Gregory in the centre, which he's probably not the best at, and then I'm going to put, what's his name? I'm going to put Rooney on the right. Yeah, we'll do that for now. So if you look at Gregory's favoured position, he's a winger, so he'd do a job as a wider midfield better than he would in the centre. But that's what we've got for now. That's pretty much it for today's changes. I do want to look at Swindon's new signings in real life. So if we start with James Collins, we have had many signings recently. Now there's 2 exact same players here, but this is the guy. He had a brilliant season with Shrewsbury last season, really did a job, banged in quite a few goals. You know, aged only 20 or 21 now perhaps. And to me, I always see bringing players up from a lower division as risky, because sometimes they really don't perform. He's probably on quite a large contract now. He did turn down offers from Watford and Coventry. Watford perhaps because he wasn't actually going to get game time, and Coventry, obviously the financial position they're in is not particularly brilliant. So, you know, it could be a Plymouth situation. I really don't know, where the players just don't get paid. I have absolutely no idea. Our second, and I think perhaps one of our best signings of the season, and I can't spell his name, Alan Navarro from Brighton. As you can see, quite old, 16 decisions. These are last season stats, obviously. 15 determination, a real leader in the centre of midfield. Sorry, and you know, that is what we want. We want a solid midfield going forward, and I can expect him to do a lot of work next season. On to Jay McEverley. Now, he was with Swindon at the end of the season. I may have spelled his name wrong. There we go. He was for Swindon at the end of the season. He came in for the Johnson's Paint Trophy final, and you know, sort of fit in with his position fairly well. He looked fairly comfortable when he first joined. Whereas if you look at, I've forgotten his name. There was another player that had just been thrown into the team on that day that didn't do particularly well. But as you can see, those stats are brilliant. 16 fitness. He may be able to do the job that Caddis can do on the right. His crossing, as you can see there, is not particularly brilliant. His dribbling's good though, so and his pace is fairly decent. And our most recent signing is Archibald Henville from Exeter. We got him out of contract, but as he's under 24, I believe, we had to pay some kind of a fee for him. I think that's all working. There may be a tribunal or something like that. But you know, he's a young player. I think he won Player of the Year at Exeter at some point. I'm not too sure. But as you can see there, solid, really solid physical stats. 15 jumping, for example. 13 strength, scored a wonder goal, supposedly. No, it was a decent goal against Sheffield Wednesday or something like that. A goal like McCormack's goal against Gillingham, I think, sort of out of the blue, kind of central defenders doing the job that strikers sometimes fail to do in games. Tommy Miller, another Swindon signing. And we are up to 12 minutes, so I do have to get through these quite quickly. That's a Middlesbrough scout, so I doubt that's him. I don't know why I clicked on him. Here's a scout. As you can see there, you know, did a really good role, played a really big role in Huddersfield's promotion season last year, but wasn't offered another contract at the Championship club, so he's decided to move to Swindon. Penalty taking 20, so I suppose if we're in a Johnson's Paint match, then you know, heading towards the semis, then that can help out, I suppose. But all round, really solid stats. Physically, 15 balance, 12 agility. Not too sure what that means for us entirely. 11 stamina, perhaps a bit disappointing. But as you can see there, 12 passing, 11 tackling. Really a good, solid all-round player with 15 teamwork, so and 14 influence. So can do a job for us next year. It is quite frustrating that we don't have next year's, you know, bits of information for us, so we can see exactly what they're strong in. But this is, it gives you a general idea, and this is, whenever I hear transfer rumours, I always look them up on this game to see their kind of strengths. I'm not sure. I think that was the right Gary Roberts. Yes, yeah, we got another player from Huddersfield's team. Again, a really good, you know, penalty taker from Huddersfield. So really promising things. You know, we're not just pulling players out of League Two, or you know, every single player was from a relegated Exeter side. It's a strong collection of players that perhaps might not make it in the Championship, but top League One players. And I think that's all we have to look at right now. Obviously, Connell, Cox, Lanzano and Jonathan Smith have been transfer listed at Swindon. And we're up to 13.57, so I have to be quick with this. My comments on Connell is that he is a brilliant player and can certainly do a job at League 2. I don't know how much he could do for a League 1 club. I think he would be sat on the sidelines a lot. Cox, now on Football Manager, he is an insane player for this level and he really does the job. In real life, I haven't seen too much of him and I don't rate him too highly. But again, you know, he could go either way. When he was in the SPL, he was a really good player. So Lanzano, again, really don't rate him. Just really don't. Jonathan Smith, he's one of those sort of players that really works hard, but you don't notice it. You know, he gets about the pitch and he does his job, but he's nothing special. And Magira and Karouche have have cut their contracts by mutual consent. But anyway, we're up to 14 minutes and 50 seconds. So thank you for watching my video, and I will see you next time on Monday, I believe, My next video will be out tomorrow though at 7 PM, so please watch out for that. Thank you.